Hi, everybody. It is Wind Down Wednesday. We are so excited to hang with y'all tonight. Go ahead and grab whatever you need, and we'll be back in about 30 seconds. All right. So excited to hang out with you. How are you today, Maggie?
I'm doing well, Carly. How are you?
I'm good. I am tired. This weather makes me feel like I've just been run over.
Yeah, it's a bit much. Although, I feel like my grass and my plants need it, I need it less.
Yes. I am not living my best life, looking out the window, and I feel it, physically feel it. Not so fun. Not so fun at all. But it's Wind Down Wednesday, so we can just kind of relax a little bit, chat and hang out. So that's wonderful. So that brings me some sunshine today. So before we hop in to our topics, we wanted to share two quick announcements with everybody watching. Number one is our BPAC series with Adelicia, our colleague. Those are just taking off. And if you haven't heard about them yet, you're going to hear about them soon. Everybody's talking about it and everyone's showing up to these. And they're phenomenal. And so this is like a family facing series. It's free. It's virtual. All the information is on the IRC webpage, but they're just taking off like wildfire.
Didn't she have 70 participants the other night?
Yes. Just wild and so cool because I think so many of us, we do so much in our roles. And sometimes we have to also lead or support the BPAC. Or even if we don't have a BPAC, if we have a family engagement, group that we work with, sometimes it's I don't have time to sit down and plan those events. Well, a lot of districts are now they're having watch parties and they'll pop this up on the screen. And Adelicia is bringing up all kinds of great, a lot of the state, relevant to what families need. What does it mean if if my student has been identified as an EL learner? What does that even mean? And what do I have, what is my student eligible to receive in terms of services, stuff like that?
What are my rights as a parent?
Yes. So that's huge. So we're so excited about that. All the information is on the IRC webpage with the schedule, with the topics and the dates and the times. These are offered in English and in Spanish. So check all that out. You don't want to miss out on this. This is a great thing to share too if you have back to school nights or curriculum night. Print out the whole set of flyers and hand them to parents. There you go. Nice and easy. And then our other announcement is that we've got the bilingual directors meeting next week already, which is so exciting. So Maggie, what are you going to be presenting next week?
I'm super excited that my colleague Sylvia Rohel and I are going to be presenting on computer science in Illinois for English learners. So we've been working on this research project that we hope can basically provide a framework for all districts in Illinois to see how they can incorporate computer science into their instruction with English learners. So we are super excited. We're looking for participants who want to, be a part of our research project. And so we're going to be presenting on that to the people at the bilingual directors meeting, and we're super excited about it.
That's going to be everyone's talking about, coding and computer science and STEM and all of these things. And our students need to have that opportunity. They need to be a part of this work and this, all the momentum around it. So that's going to be a hot session.
Yeah, I'm excited. What are you presenting on, Carly?
So I have a session on supporting newcomers. And I know like we've been taught, like I know you just had, you were just doing one of our virtual workshops on newcomers, right?
I was.
See, so there we go. So I know everyone's, everyone's in need of, different ideas and support for navigating, academic support and making linguistic connections and SEL support and kind of navigating the newness and, nurturing a sense of belonging and kind of the whole thing. So I'm excited to share that next week. But it'll be cool. So I know like a lot of folks, people were asking like, can I even bring more people? Well, like, the event full, like max capacity, I hear, which is so exciting. But a lot of leaders are coming and they're eager to connect and network. So hopefully we'll see all of y'all there. So yes, Laura's coming. So we're excited to see you there. That's wonderful. But yeah, we're going to have a lot of.
And if your administrator is going, ask them to share what they learned there. Yes. Like we want you to share what you learned there. So ask like, what are your slides? What did you learn there? Like definitely ask, because we want that information to be shared through the districts.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. It's a great way to, again, like connect and grab and then bring back, right? And disseminate. Yes, absolutely. Oh, well, that's exciting. I'm so pumped. But for tonight, super excited to chat tonight because we're talking about like kind of creating our own professional growth goals and like, what are the things that we want to expand on and learn more about this school year. And I know a lot of folks are kind of getting ready. They're sitting down with their Danielson and all their all of their pieces. So I think this is a nice timely discussion about just kind of formulating and brainstorming all those things. So I don't know, like I remember being asked, every year to kind of sit down. There were some years where we sat down and said as a team, like we're all going to be, working on this. Many times it was tied to like whatever new implementation plan, whatever rollout was coming down, because there's always a rollout of something. So many times it was tied into that, but sometimes we kind of had a little bit more freedom, which was nice. So I don't know, for us, for this year, there's always, 86 things I think that I want to like explore and like learn more about. And like, workshops that I want to develop and stuff. And I know we get a lot of feedback from folks who, who are in our network and our community. So there's been a few that I've been kind of like, maybe I should lean more into that, but it's hard to like narrow down.
I think so too. One thing that just popped into my head, I was just emailing with someone because I teach one of the classes in the endorsement sequence. And so I teach the technology for culturally and linguistically diverse students. And one teacher was like, I already have the endorsement. I'm taking this class just for PD. And I was like, oh, that's such a great idea. Like, I never really thought of that. But like, I mean, I did that as a teacher. Like when I noticed that there were students who were duly identified as students with special needs and students who were also EL, that I was like, you know what? No one really knows both of these worlds. I'm going to go back and take some of these classes. And so I think like that's a great, way too, if you have the time, like, and I know it's a big time investment, but if you have the time, like finding a class that you can, take part in can be a really great, consistent way to, get some professional development through like the semester.
Yes. And I like that too, because like you said, it's like a consistent, like you have there's a whole structure, like a scope and sequence of like, different pieces to explore. And then you also have thought partners like along the way to kind of dialogue with and like, collaborate with and plan with a little bit. So that's
you're interacting with other people. Whereas like sometimes you go to workshops and it's, or a webinar and it's just you and just your thoughts, which are great. But, like sometimes you want to hear what other people are doing and how they're interpreting that same information in their context. So I think that's a great idea. So it was one thing that kind of popped up to me this week that I was like, oh, that's a great thing.
Yes, yes. Oh, that's wonderful. How cool is it that she shared that? Like, I love that she's like, I'm just doing this for
Yeah.
my own self. Like, I don't need the, certificate and stuff.
Mhm.
Like, I'm going for more learning. I love it.
Right.
I love it.
Which I love. Yeah.
Yes, 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 yes. And it's so funny because, like, right, we always talk with our students about like it's so good to be a lifelong learner.
Mhm.
So it's good for us to walk the walk too.
Right. Absolutely.
Yes, yes, yes. So I keep a running list of like workshops that I
Mhm.
want to like develop and explore. And I've been having a lot of conversations. Like I know Michelle, our colleague, has
Mhm.
a real cool workshop about like, she's like diverse books to start the year. And I know you have a whole lot of workshops about like wordless books and how to
Mhm.
incorporate them. And like, oh my gosh, they're so good. Um, but I want to explore incorporating picture books at the secondary level. And that's been on my heart to like tap into. So I'm gonna hold myself to it. I'm gonna just identify a date now for maybe the spring and say I'm going to develop this out. I don't know how it's gonna look, if it'll be in person or virtual, but I really want to go down that road.
I mean, it's such an important topic because, like, I think, like, I mean, think about how many adults that you and I know that just love picture books. And so, why wouldn't like
Yes,
secondary students love picture books as well?
yes,
Especially when it's paired with other types of input and other types of
yes,
information. Like,
yes,
it's just such a great conceptual preview. And
yeah.
we're talking about, like, here is the idea we're talking, like, I mean, if someone said, like, "I'm gonna come read a book to you now," I'd be like, "I'm sold."
Yes, please, I will sit down.
Please, let me tell you my address because
Yes,
I'm into
exactly.
it.
That's right. That's right.
So I think that's just such a, like, a beneficial experience for everyone.
Yes, yes, yes. And then like and then selfishly it's an excuse for me to like sit down with a stack of picture books and read and go through them all and find new favorites and all the things. So yeah.
I
So
mean,
get
I
it.
can't go a week without sending someone a different picture book I see on the
Yes,
internet.
yes.
And it is like my sister's a school librarian, my other sister's a speech pathologist, like, in school, so, like, I'm always sending them things, I'm always sending, like, you and my colleagues
Yes,
things, like,
yes.
"We just keep this on the record, keep this on our radar because we
Uh-huh.
might need this." Like, I mean, I need an excuse to buy all the books,
I
and I
know.
think teachers do too, so, like, if you set that as your professional goal,
Yes, yes.
like, maybe there's some, incentive for the district to kinda help you out with that. I
Yes.
don't know. I'm not gonna speak for all districts, but I am gonna speak that, I don't know, it can't hurt that you set your goal that way.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I like that. I like that. That sounds good.
That's how my brain works.
Yes, I think that's genius. I think that's brilliant. So hey, if you're watching and you're a secondary district and this is interesting to you, give us a call.
Yeah.
I
Mhm.
love it. I love it. So as you think about professional goal, like is there anything that comes to mind for you? Like I mean, you have your hands in 86 different things, Maggie. Like you do it all.
I'm constantly excited about new wordless books. So, like you
Uh-huh.
mentioned, I'm constantly excited. I want to keep abreast of, like, all the new wordless books that come out.
Yeah.
But like I mentioned before, like, I, as a teacher in the classroom and now as a multilingual education specialist, I'm always looking at, like, what areas of intersection need more
Mm,
attention. And
yeah.
so, when I was in the classroom, it was, I went back and got classwork for students with special needs and multilingual learners. Then later, when I was in the classroom, I went back and got coursework on gifted instruction and multilingual learners because I identified needs in my district that weren't being met.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, and then even now, like, last year and this year, it's been computer science and multilingual learners, because that was an area that's underserved. So like, I think for me, it's always been identifying those underserved areas. Those are areas that I'm interested in. Like I'm intellectually interested in them, but like identifying those areas that are underserved and saying, I'm going to be that person who understands both of those worlds.
Yeah.
And so that's always been like my kind of like my impetus for selecting areas that I want to grow in professionally.
Yes. Yes. Oh my gosh. And that's huge. And I think all of those areas that you mentioned, like I think I've had conversations with every teacher in every district and who has said like, we need more about this, like kind of like the overlap, right? Like that,
right.
Like you said, the intersectionality between those two pieces. That's huge. That's awesome.
Because our students aren't a homogenous group. Like they're all different and they're all bringing different things to the tables. And I think like one person can't do it all. Like you've got to like share the load that way.
Yes, absolutely. So like when you think about your professional goal, like what is your favorite way to learn professionally? Like, are you like, I love professional books. I don't love all professional books, I will say. Like it has to be a certain style, I think, to keep me like coming back for more. Other times, like I have to be like really like intentional, sitting down and going through. But like, what do you have like the like preferred methods for your professional learning towards your professional goals?
I almost think it has to happen like in steps. I almost think it has to be like, oh, I saw an Instagram video about this, or I saw a Facebook video about this. And then like, oh, that led me to a blog post by that person or something. And then that led me to a book in that topic. And then that led me maybe to a class I wanted to take. Like I don't want to ever sign up for something too big, not knowing that I'm going to be emotionally invested. So I want to like, I think like at this point in my life that I think maybe at some point in my life, I was just like, sign up for everything. But like at this point in my life, it has to be like, oh, I tried a teaser out here, either like a blog post or a video I saw or a YouTube video. And then then that led me to like a book, or it led me to a class or a workshop or something like that. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah. Oh, totally. Well, and I'm glad, like, I love that you mentioned, like, it's almost like a snowball effect, right? Like, like it kind of just, it keeps leading to more and more. But I love and appreciate that you said, like, it could be as simple as seeing someone's Instagram post. Like, I feel like I find and I pull like such, like, I don't want to even say nuggets because it's not a nugget. It's like a big seed. Like
it's almost like you said what I thought in a much more succinct way. Like, or you gave me something to think of that was in such a great like elevator pitch that it's amazing.
See, and I love that. Like it just like it, something grabs you and then you're like, I gotta go deeper. I gotta go more. I gotta go harder on this.
Absolutely.
I love it. But yeah, like, and that inspiration can come from anywhere. It can come from social media posts. It can come from like a random conversation in the hallway. Like that's just those things that pop up. Like it, like it's not the purpose of the conversation or it's not the purpose of the meeting, but somebody raises a question and they're like, ooh, like I'm going to write that down. Like I want to explore that a little bit.
What about, I don't know if this happened to you, but like when I was in the classroom, I would get things in my mailbox all the time that were like random mailings from things. And like, I would read it and be like, that's a great topic I want to learn about. Like, like that's how I but that's how I saw Stephen Krashen talk. Like I just got a flyer in my mailbox. It was like, he's coming to our neighborhood to do a thing at a hotel. And I was like, oh, I'm going, like, what, like sometimes that was like the impetus to like, think of like, oh, that's what I want to learn about right now.
Yes. Oh, I love that. And sometimes too, like sometimes it's the voice of like, again, like a lot of people might be saying the same thing, but like someone whose style kind of resonates with you a little bit more, you're like, that person will be able, because like, again, our styles match or like we just vibe a little bit better. Like if it's from that person's voice or that person's perspective or that style, then I'm like, okay, I'm ready to hear it from that person.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, that's so cool. Was it amazing? Did you go to
It
it?
was the best.
Oh,
And I mean, and I don't want to, but it was the best because it was a 5-minute drive from my house
ah,
and from my job. It was like, I mean, the fact that I was like, he's in my neighborhood. Like, this is the greatest. Like, and it was just like, he just talked like casual, like conversations about his, like, just like stories from his career. And it wasn't like a presentation so much as like, here are all the points. It was like, here's all the stories and I'm going to get to the point. It was great. I would highly recommend it for anyone.
oh, that's amazing. All right. I have to be like looking now. So if we see he's coming to the area, we
I'll
gotta
let you know.
Sounds good. Sounds good. All right. Well, for folks who are either watching with us live tonight or catching the replay, we would love if you shared like a little bit about, what are you thinking in terms of like your professional goals for yourself this year? And like, what are your preferred like learning styles? Like, what are your preferred ways to like get yourself to, to master or to get in that goal explored. And then the last thing I'll share too is I think it's so powerful when we're able to not only talk about our goals with each other, but talk about our goals to our students because they need to hear us still setting goals and still dreaming out loud and like making plans for ongoing learning. Like, even if it's, you think it's going to bore them, like they want to know.
My kids loved like, Miss, do you have homework this week?
Yes.
And I was like, yes, I have so much homework this week. You cannot even like, let me tell you my homework.
Yes.
Like they just liked knowing that we were in the same boat.
Exactly. And like we're walking the walk, right? Like we're walking the talk. Like we're also on this lifelong learning journey, right? Like we're always shooting for the next, next goals and stuff. So awesome.
I always think my students would also be like, when I came back from a workshop, they would be like, what is she going to try to implement now? Like, because I would learn so much and I'd be like, I'd come back and be like, okay, 45 new things today, guys. Get ready for it. And they're like, is this what you learned yesterday? I'm like, yep.
So, we're going to try this.
I think it like encouraged them, but also scared them slightly.
Yes. I love that too. Like, hey guys, we're going to try something because I saw this thing happen or this teacher said this was really cool. So let's do this. And they're like, all right, Mrs. Spina, go ahead. Like, let's bring it on. We'll give. And then the other thing was like, I always ask them for feedback. Like, how did this go? How would we change this up to like, meet our, class vibes and stuff. So they were always like, all right, we're ready to give the critique.
I also, before I would present I would run my presentations by them. Like before I presented at ICE, which is now IDEA, they like the different tech things we were doing and stuff. I would be like, hey, let me talk you through this. Like, what else do you think we should add in this presentation? And they would tell me things. I was like, I never would have thought that. So it was such a cool way to like reflect on what I thought I learned and what they thought they learned.
Yes. Oh, I love that. Oh, that's so cool. And I bet they feel so empowered too. Like, like we're offering you. We're the teachers too.
Right.
I love that so much. Oh, awesome. Well, Maggie, thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight. This was so much fun, and I'm looking forward to seeing folks' comments as the week goes on. So thank you all for joining us tonight. We'll be back next week with more Wind Down Wednesday. Thanks so much, everyone.
Bye.